Hello, and welcome to another Rang Rouge unit of the week. And today we're taking a look at the BA-10M BTR Recon Transport Vehicle. So usually when doing the historical research for this part of the video, finding information is usually not too bad. For Western allies and German stuff, it's pretty easy to find sources and information on most of their military equipment. Russian stuff is usually a little bit of a pain in the arse as there's less translations and sources in English. However, for the BA-10M BTR, I could find nothing in terms of written documentation for this vehicle in pretty much any sources that I looked at, and I even asked a few history buff friends of mine who actually go through some of the archives if they knew anything about this vehicle, and I also couldn't find anything about the BA-10M BTR. However, it's not all doom or gloom, as I did manage to find pictures of this vehicle in use during the Second World War. But it's a bit weird because all the pictures I could find were of the Germans using it. I'm about to give you my hypothesis / speculation of the usage of this vehicle. I have pretty much no basis in historical fact or sources to back me up here. This is pure speculation on the existence of this vehicle. So my guess is that the Germans managed to capture a bunch of BA-10s and then convert them into these quote-unquote BTR vehicles by cutting off the turret. It seems to make actually logical sense to do this, as by cutting off the turret, you would have the vehicle be a low profile, you carry more people on a reconnaissance role, and also you would have to worry less about resupplying a gun which has ammunition which you are not producing. Instead, you have to worry about arming 2 machine guns. And then, my guess is that these vehicles would end up being recaptured by the Russians, and then the Russians would end up using them against the Germans again. And then this vehicle was only really used by the ad hoc Russian division that we see in games, such as Group Bezlugo and Group Viborg. This would seem to make sense, as they would kind of just use anything they could get their hands on. I mean, one of them's using captured Tiger tanks, for Christ's sake. But once again, this is all just speculation. I have no concrete evidence to say that this is true. If anyone does know anything about this vehicle, for the love of God, please tell me in the comments. I am genuinely curious to see where this thing actually came from, because it's one of the few units that I've done for Units of the Week where I couldn't find anything, and the people I asked knew bloody nothing about it. But with that big part of the video out of the way, let's just continue on. In game, the BA-10M BTR is a 10-point recon transport available to Group Viborg and Group Bezlugo, and it has 1 weapon. And well, it's kind of a lie saying that there's only 1 weapon, because it's really just 2 machine guns. But it's just 2 machine guns, it's nothing really fancy here. And if we pop down to the miscellaneous stats, it has 15mm of frontal armor, Reek top armor, 10mm on the side and on the back. It goes 33km off-road, 65km on the road, has medium stealth, very high optics, and light transport capabilities. During battle, it's another unit of the week covering another cheap reconnaissance vehicle. But now, with reconnaissance actually being worthwhile in the game thanks to the reconnaissance buff, I'm no longer going to say that vehicles like this are worthless, because this is actually a very worthwhile unit to take. Because essentially for 10 points you get an added bonus of having an extra machine gun, as usually other 10-point reconnaissance transports usually only has 1 machine gun, such as the BA-64 or the BA-20, so it's a nice little bonus having a bit of extra firepower, and that extra machine gun does add quite a lot of firepower, especially when you're dealing with infantry inside a forest. Also, it does have a slightly larger transport capacity, meaning that you can transport 4-man recon squads, such as motorized Devka, which really improves general usage of this vehicle, not just limited to bringing this thing out with dozers. Overall, it's just a nice little reconnaissance vehicle. There's nothing really too crazy about it. It's decent with dealing with infantry, and you got a nice discount because it's only 10 points for 2 machine guns, which is not bad at all. It's also a very early BTR if we're being technical here, and, well, I do like my BTRs from Raw Game. And, well, I'm going to leave it off yet. This has been another Rang Rouge unit of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.